Hey, Mom and Dad. I think it's the 29th of December right now, and I'm not sure when I'm going to send this to you, but I want you both to be able to kind of watch it at the same time. There's a whole stack of documents. I'm at my mom's house right now, and for whatever reason, I have no clue why, but she put an entire stack of documents from your divorce proceedings and all this stuff in front of me, which I'm not sure why. But anyway, I finally got a chance to look at it, and I want to talk to you about a couple things. This is a very safe conversation, and I think you're both going to be very thrilled or whatever in some way afterward. So here's what I know about you two. I never really knew when you guys were, married. You've been divorced as long as I've known. And here's what I know. I know that currently my mom is looking to do research on spirituality and physical health. And I know that my dad has had a religious episode when you guys were still married that led to him having a theory that the Ark of the Covenant is under the heel stone. Okay, now those two things are pretty unrelated. And I just looked in those documents and I can see, sort of writings and things like that my dad filed, during the 80s or whatever. And during that period in time, after I was born, I don't know if Dad, you know this, but my mom, she filed a couple businesses. One was called Being Beautiful, and the other one was Designs by Linda, that's filed in the Dallas County Courthouse. All those documents over there, she's got copies of them, plus I got to think that they're also filed in the Dallas County Courthouse. You guys have, provable, items that you've filed together or separately. Also, your house at Purdue Street, that deed, when it was finally released, you guys had multiple filings. I think you had like a mechanic's lien or a couple of them on it. Well, when you guys finally got divorced and then finally my mom sold the house, there was a lien release. It was the final release from Gibraltar Savings and Loan. There's a copy, not of that lien release, but there's Gibraltar documents in there too, or at least one that I saw. And that final lien release was on January 24th, 1986. Okay. Now, during that time, my dad was trying to open seals from the Book of Revelation, which, what's interesting about that, I guess, is what I'm going to say, is that he had a hyper-religious episode when he was in his 30s. John had one when he was in his 20s. I had one earlier this year in 2018. Mammy had one her whole life. And I got to think, and I think my mom would agree, that it's impossible for a father and both sons to have hyper-religious episodes. It's almost as if it's going from generation to generation. Mammy, Dad, and then John and me. You see that? It's a pattern, okay? Now, I'm getting my point here in a minute. Also, I noticed in the book of Revelation, they talk about giving confessions. And when I had my hyper-religious episode, I admitted publicly on camera, just like this, and I uploaded it to the internet, everything I've ever done wrong, okay? Because I had an experience that was exactly like, it lasted 90 seconds, and I talked to my mom about this before, maybe a couple months ago, Moses and his burning bush. I don't think Moses would have said it was burning in 2018. He would have said it pixelated. I actually have it on camera. And after that, I knew it was God. And I told my mom about this a couple months ago, and she's like, well, I had a religious experience too. The night before, she got an offer on the home on Purdue Street that was going to foreclose. And she felt like an angel came behind her, or some spirit. And then the next day, she got a last-minute offer on the house and then was able to sell it. And I assume that lien release went through, shortly thereafter, in '86. But I don't know when you guys sold the home. Here's my point. That when I uploaded that confession, I noticed I could take full breaths again after smoking for 21 years. It took a couple months, but I noticed it. And I texted some people and had conversations with some people who actually also I got to go on camera and upload public confessions. And they all, every single one of them, there was someone who had a cough, eczema, which doesn't go away. This is all true. Linda, whatever you want to push back, you've never tried it, so just bear with me for a second, all right? And let's see what else. There was someone opioid addiction, depression, anxiety. Let's see what else was there. Asthma went away. That kills 10 kids per day. Now, Mom, you're looking for a connection between spirituality and physical health, okay? And in those confessions, I use the 10 Commandments, Dad, which you're, physically looking for with the Ark of the Covenant, okay? Stay with me. And my point is that the asthma went away and all this stuff. So, I think that that is worth noting. Now, here's what I wanted to get at. This is the tough part, okay? Everyone has their idea of like God and Jesus and all this stuff, okay? I'm not Jesus. Dad, you're not Jesus. John wasn't Jesus. No one's fucking Jesus, okay? Jesus, if you can take a second and just understand the fact that he was a human being who stumbled upon this method of healing people, not because he was God, but because anyone, when you publicly confess using, he didn't have video footage back then, but he had big crowds to kind of show off, gave God a platform or whatever, where he can work on a cellular level, Linda. You can prove this using data, okay? My point is, he would think that he was God, like he healed them, when in fact, it was God doing all the work, and it's just God, he operates with, or his currency, I guess, is sin, or whatever, from the 10 Commandments, Dad, okay? Here's what I'm getting at. Dad, you believed so much in, your theories of these seals and all this stuff from the book of Revelation, but here's what happened, in my opinion, all right? If you two open up the Bible to Revelation,